Okay, I think we're ready to get started here, and I'm just going to ask the mayor to call the meeting to order.
Thank you very much, Mr. Clerk. Welcome everyone to our special council meeting today of June the 22nd, 2017. We had to call a special meeting. We have an item of council business that needs to be dealt with expediently. First thing we'll do is offer or open up for a disclosure of pecuniary interest. Do we have any disclosures? No conflicts? Okay. Moving on, we're going to start with our first report, BDD 2017-06, Celebrate Ontario Grant for New Year's Eve show. Do we have any discussion to that motion? All right, we've got some noise coming up from the gallery here. Hopefully we got that okay. Good. Okay, well then we've got a motion by Councillor Thompson, looking for a seconder to move by, seconded by Councillor Carrio, that we move forward on the application for the New Year's Eve funding. If there's no discussion to that, we'll call the vote. All those in favor? Okay, and that's unanimous. Thank you for that. Our main item on the agenda is the resolution pertaining to Ontario Lottery and Gaming, and we do have our regional chair here, Alan Caslin, as our regional council, one of our regional councilors, Selena Volpatti, and there's a request from our chair that he address council. So I need a motion from council. Moved by Councillor Peter Angelo, seconded by Councillor Strange. All those in favor? Okay, and that's a unanimous resolution to ask you to come forward. So welcome, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. They probably got the question wrong. They thought they were voting in opposition. But that's okay. I'll take the opportunity. Thank you for letting me speak again today. This is the second time this year that I've been able to address you on this important issue. I think it's worthwhile me talking to you about it and what's happened so far. As your Niagara Regional Chair, I'm pleased to join you today at this special council meeting. Standing up for Niagara jobs is the most important job that I have as Regional Chair. Saving these jobs will have a positive impact on the daily lives of residents and families across Niagara region. Mayor Jim Diodati and I have worked with many partners over the year, including our Regional Council, our MPPs, especially Wayne Gates, residents and business owners. So there's many levels of government involved. In November of 2016, Niagara Regional Council was unanimous in our request of the Ontario government that the RFPQ and the RFP be postponed until the goals of sustainable economic benefits, creating jobs, and acting as a catalyst for economic development for the region and the city were added to providing revenues to the province, just like the 1996 original RFP. The new RFP criteria have eliminated the importance of jobs and local economic development, and the only criteria left is revenue for the province. Mayor Diodati and I wrote an open letter to Finance Minister Charles D'Souza asking that the process be changed. The minister's response ignored the potential job losses and made no comments about the RFP being changed. OLG's own modernization documents state municipal consultation must take place with the host communities. And I can tell you that did not occur. In March, we held a public rally outside the Niagara casinos, and 350 people joined us from across Niagara region to show support for hardworking Niagara residents. As Niagara's largest employer with over 4,000 employees and a payroll in excess of $220 million, it is critical that we maintain these jobs in Niagara. HLT's advisory report outlines that if modernization goes forward under the current process, 1,400 jobs will be lost. And as you can imagine, with 1,400 jobs being lost out of 4,000, there's no way that they will sustain 2 casinos being open. There is broad support across Niagara demanding that the RFP process consider the importance of these jobs. We have support from the City of Niagara Falls Council, Niagara Regional Council, the City of St. Catharines Council, the Greater Niagara Chamber of Commerce, Niagara Falls Chamber of Commerce, Clifton Hill BIA, the Niagara Tourism Partnership, and all 4 Niagara MPPs. The province and OLG committed to consulting with the host communities and working with them on the process, and they haven't done that. However, your city was told that the RFPQ release just the night before we were about to go to Toronto. with full knowledge that we were heading to Queen's Park, the new RFP was released by OLG the morning before we arrived. For me, this changes nothing. Now I'm agreeing with the motion before you and asking that the RFP be withdrawn and that the original criteria be included. While these jobs may not be a priority for OLG or the government, they are very important to Niagara families and therefore important to me as your Niagara Regional Chair. To show our Regional Council's support on this matter to date and for further support in the next steps outlined, I'd like to offer an amendment to the resolution as follows, if I could, Mr. Chair. Further be it resolved that the Niagara casinos are the region's largest employer, which impacts residents of all Niagara's 12 communities. That this resolution be circulated to Niagara Regional Council and Niagara's municipal councils for their consideration and support. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you for that, Chair. So we've got a request by the Chair that we amend our resolution and add in this one, therefore be it resolved. Councillor Thompson? And then I've got Councillor Morocco.
First of all, thank you for being here this evening on this extremely important matter. Particularly, a lot of people concentrate on this being the city of Niagara Falls. If you go through the employment statistics for the casinos, it's almost proportionate to every municipality. Everybody in this region benefits from the jobs and the opportunities. And that's why this is not strictly a Niagara Falls motion. Every municipality should be in favor, and particularly we appreciate 2 or 3 times you being available and speaking on this. When this was all created, there were 5,500 jobs at the casino. And I was shocked a few years ago to hear, well, now they have 4,500 jobs. And now there's a possibility of losing another 1,400 jobs. This is a direct negative impact on what we are all about. We don't have large, well, we have GE coming in, but, and we work just as hard, Serge Filicetti will tell you, on trying to get new industrial jobs that people say to me all the time. You know, you're always talking about tourism. Why don't you get some good industrial? We work very hard. Our economic development people around the region work very hard on attempting to do that, but it's very difficult. And particularly with Niagara Falls being, thank God, having the falls here and the Parks Commission, we're in the tourist business, and we have to promote and work on that as much as we can. And I think that the opportunity for the future, I think we have to look and examine how the operations are being run there. I get complaints constantly about, you know, it's very difficult to get a permanent job there. Most of the people are there tell me, well, I get 3 days a week, I'm part-time, I really love to get in full-time. I hope it's not a situation where, like the LCBO, where they create all these part-time jobs, so it's not really beneficial for the people who are working there. But this is an extremely important issue. I think we're really putting the fight on. Your efforts, along with the chair, certainly have brought this to the forefront, and I'm delighted to make the motion that's and the amendment that has been suggested by the chair, and we're going to fight like hell to make sure that we're treated fairly here with respect to this most important employment issue in this particular region. So thank you.
Thank you. Well said. Councillor Morocco, you're going to...
Yes, thank you, Your Worship. Actually, there's some of the points that Councillor Thompson mentioned I fully support, and I was going to speak to as well, so I'm not going to repeat that. But there's no doubt that having the opportunity to be a part of the revitalizing of the modernization, I mean, that was something that we spoke about, and be no secret there, that it was something that I also lobbied and campaigned on in 14 in the by-election with the Liberal government. And I'll stand strong to say that we need to support the motion by Al Caslin and let them know loud and clear that we need to be a part of that going forward. We can't get stuck into the same commitment that we had previous with one owner and 2 casinos. We really need to have 2 casinos that are both competing to bring more marketing dollars, more people, and more jobs here. So I fully support moving forward that, and I second that motion.
Thank you for that, Councillor. I've got Councillor Kerrio and then Crater.
Thank you, Worship. Glad to support the resolution with the addition of the chair's change. It just doesn't seem fair, because this is not what the city and the citizens signed on for. Going back to when Councillor Thompson was then the mayor, there was actually a referendum, and the people actually accepted, or with open arms invited the casino to come here. But it was based then on the opportunity of jobs. It was based on other opportunities. It was based on the casino being a catalyst for other things. And that's what the citizens and the voters of Niagara Falls voted for in that referendum. So all of a sudden now, we've got a huge change. Now it's just about the money. That's not what the citizens of Niagara Falls voted yes for when they voted for that referendum. So it just doesn't seem fair that someone could come along now and change the rules of the game and just throw away what we agreed to in the beginning in order to accept the casino in our city in the first place.
Well said. Thank you for that. Councillor Crater.
Thank you, Worship. Just a couple comments. First, I want to share with Council my experience when I was a provincial member of Parliament, when the OLG and the government talked about modernizing gaming. And I can remember like it was yesterday when they were going to modernize the slots. And I remember how they explained to us, particularly the MPPs who had gaming in their communities, there was going to be consultation, we would have input about a modernization plan that was going to come forward. And in essence, what happened, I got a phone call on a Friday, I was brought up there and I was told, this is the plan. And the plan cost Fort Erie 300 jobs, and it crossed across the province. In fact, right now, I think it's the Standard Bred Horsemen have filed a lawsuit against the government of Ontario, against Dwight Duncan and McGinty, for what they consider the impact of lost revenue because of this modernization plan. And the reason I share that with you, because the modernization plan, it never worked. We just ended up closing Windsor, we ended up closing Fort Erie, and it's a shame when I think back then that when we tried to intervene and convince, and I was a member, so you have access to the Premier. Actually, I was very fortunate because with Jim Tieber and with Mayor Doug Martin, we actually put together a solid business plan to show the government how you could keep slots going, how they fit in with casinos as a relationship, and how the OLG should better be involved in promoting as opposed to just letting, because in Fort Erie you had the same situation. You had an owner who was from a foreign country and his #1 priority was money. It wasn't about promoting the racetrack, it wasn't about working with the slots. So having said all that, the reason I do feel strongly about, and I congratulate you, I wish back then we had had the region and everyone involved with us to try to help Fort Erie when they lost their slots. But the scary part about all this, and you know, it's kind of deja vu, I have to say this, with Dwayne Thompson here. I remember I was one of the councillors back then when you helped bring the casino forward, and the #1 priority was what you said, Councillor Kerrio, it was going to be an economic development for the city. And that's how it was written up back then. That was going to be one of the key factors. So what we ended up with, and I was there the whole time, we ended up with an American company called Falls Management that never existed. Think about it. You had a company that applied for the rights to run the casino, and they never ran a casino. In fact, they hired a private company called the Hyatt to come in to run this casino. They hired a private company to run the stores and shops. You were there at the time. And so their '1 priority was money. And when that casino opened, the original operators who opened it was the Navigante Group, who said their number one priority was the employees. They were going to make it the best casino in Niagara Falls. The only reason employees had benefits and had a good wage is because when they opened it up, they wanted to ensure that that was a priority, and they did. When Falls Management came in, and those people ran it, and most of them said are from, I think they're from the US, but their priority was money. So as time went on, and you're quite right, how do we reduce costs? How do we make more money? And so you end up with part-time employees, you end up with people that had their benefits cut. I was there the year when they decided they're going to have a layoff, and all the employees, the majority of them who opened that casino and gave their heart and soul to make it a quality place, they went and laid them all off. I remember going down there and trying to talk to Falls Management. You can't do that. At least let them, should have some seniority rates. They should have re-recognized. They didn't. I remember going in there and they're all in tears. They lost their jobs after opening up in 95 or 96. So if you don't take a stand now, if you don't take a stand like you're doing right now, then what I'm afraid we're going to end up with is it will go to an RFP, and whoever is chosen, their priority is going to be what we know the government is asking for. It's about money. So if you don't stop the process as you're proposing, and it's a flawed process, that the priority is about economic development. It is about enhancing it in the city. It is about ensuring that the employees who work there, that this is the best employer in town and they get and receive the kind of wages and benefits they deserve. So if we don't stop it now, then I have this awful feeling we could be going down the same road as what happened with Fort Erie and other communities that have slots when they were going to modernize it, and it collapsed around them, and they couldn't reverse the damage they had done. So I'm certainly totally in support of this. Thank you.
Thank you. Well said. Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Pietrangelo.
Yeah, thanks, Your Worship. We've been, I guess, waiting for this opportunity for a long time. I mean, we've all known that the current agreement that the province and the casino is operating under has a 25-year length, and so we've had this date on our radar for a long time, and we've been very hopeful knowing that this date is coming, because I guess in our minds we were thinking that we were going to be able to better our destination. And I mean, let's be honest, Niagara Falls is an iconic destination. People from all over the world come here, and if we start to deteriorate our allure to attract people, then there's going to be ripple effects. And in the beginning, as was already mentioned, I believe that we had our priorities aligned. The city's priorities were aligned with the province's priorities. Bringing the casinos here was all about job creation. It was all about job sustainability, and it was all about acting as a catalyst for economic development. Our priorities haven't changed, Your Worship, and that's why I'm going to support the resolution, because I think somewhere along the way we have to grab hold of this opportunity and convince the province that their priorities shouldn't change either.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well, I have nothing more to add. I think you guys have covered absolutely everything. So if there's no further discussion, we'll call the vote. All those in favor? And that's unanimous. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. We'll see you later on. Okay, thank you. Thank you. This is not a public meeting part here, Frank. This part's not. Moving along to communications, we have one issue here from Red Boss Pyrotechnics requesting approval for use of Glenview Park for various fireworks displays for the Great Wolf Lodge. Moved by Councillor Pietrangelo, second by Councillor Strange. If there's no discussion, we'll call the vote. All those in favor? Opposed? Okay, that's unanimous. Mr. Clerk, I understand there's some other communication?
Yes, Your Worship, there was one included in the small additions package that went out, and it's just requesting for relief of the noise bylaw. And this is for the events taking place at the Serbian church. They have an event this weekend, and then again Saturday, August 5th.
It's a good thing we've got this special meeting today. They cut it close. Motion by Councillor Thompson, second by Councillor Crater, that we give relief to the noise bylaw for the Serbian picnic this weekend. We'll call the vote. All those in favor? Okay, and that's approved unanimously. Thank you for that. And on to the bylaws. Are there any additional bylaws or amendments to tonight's council for consideration, Mr. Clerk?
No, there's not.
A motion to introduce the bylaws, Your Worship?
Okay, moved by Counselor Pietrangelo, seconded by Counselor Carrier, that the bylaws be given a first reading. All those in favor? Thank you.
Bylaws 2017-80 to 2017-81, read a first time.
Thank you.
Second and third.
Motion by Counselor Pietrangelo, seconded by Counselor Carrier, the bylaws be given a second and third reading. All those in favor? That's unanimous.
And 2017-80 through to 2017-81, read a second, third time and passed.
Thank you very much. Motion for adjournment, Counselor Thompson, seconded by Counselor Morocco. All those in favor? All right, thank you. All right, that was great. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you in a few weeks.